Well, good morning folks, welcome back to the channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again with the first of this week's reviews. This is a nice unusual little place. We're in Morocco in North Africa, and this is at Zagora International Airport in Morocco, Golf Mike Alpha Zulu. It's a payware scenery by the Flight Sim Development Group, better known as FSDG, and you're looking at the release version 1 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. The download is 1.73 gig and it installs at 1.89 gig, so it's a reasonably decent file size. You can get it from Sim Market and from the FSDG online store. There's not a lot of difference in the prices, just really a few euros here and there. I'll give you the Sim Market price, €12.08, which equates to roughly $13.50 or £10.23 UK. US and UK prices, as ever, are all estimates taken from the euro, and they do include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on which country you are in. So let's look at the list of features. So features, you have a fully accurate ground rendition of Zagora Airport in Morocco. There's an updated ground layout, realistic light environment and detailed modelling. The Flight Sim 2020 technologies have all been used, which includes dynamic lighting, reflective textures and much more. It's been optimized for decent performance and visual quality. And lastly, they say it's compatible with all known add-ons including GSX. Now I will say at this point there are issues with GSX. When you spawn onto this airport, GSX doesn't recognize any nav data. I have spoken to FSDG about this and they're aware of the problem, and they're trying to find an answer to that. We're not really quite sure exactly why this does what it does. But that's being worked on, but it generally, I would think, doesn't really stop you from taxiing out of this airport. As you can see, the aircraft spawns in this position. So so those are the list of features. This is an unusual airport visited by Royal Air Maroc Express on a regular basis with scheduled flights, and they do have other charter flights as well. So let's look at some history first of all. So history, Zagora Airport, Golf Mike Alpha Zulu, is a public use airport owned and operated by the Office National des Aéroports, or the ONDA, and serves the city of Zagora in Morocco. Located less than 150 miles or 256 kilometers southeast of Marrakesh, the current airport was constructed between 2007 and 2009 and lies just 4 miles or 7 kilometers southwest of Zagora itself. This airport is characterized as a Category 4 airport for fire and emergency cover purposes. The previous airport facility was a sand runway, some 3,740 feet or 1,140 meters in length, and could be found at just 1.5 miles or 2.7 kilometers southwest of the city. The current airport sits right on the edge of the Great Sahara Desert, the largest desert in the world. In the city can be found a sign that states that Zagora is, quote, the last stop before 52 days to Timbuktu, unquote. Zagora Airport has an NDB station, identifier is Foxtrot Juliet Alpha 420, located just off the north side of runway 11. Now Royal Air Maroc Express operates scheduled services into and out of Zagora, and they also welcome charters from various other places. So I've done quite a bit of research on this. It's difficult to find charts or anything really. I have found a visual approach chart. Well, the link to that chart I will place in the description below. I also managed to locate the AIP, or the Airport Information Procedures document for this airport as well, which lists quite a bit of stuff in both French and English. Again, I'll put the link in the description below so you can access those too. This airport does have operational hour restrictions. It's open from 08:30 to 16:30 local time Monday to Friday, and if you want to operate outside these hours then it's prior permission required. So as I said, I'll provide links to the visual approach chart and to the AIP file in the description below. This is quite an interesting place. As I said, it's right on the edge of the Sahara Desert, and it could be fun to fly into. As you can see, surrounded by amazing mountainous terrain. And FSDG have done a lot here to bring the way this airport looks and the surrounding area into sort of realism for you. So that's history. Let's look at runways. So runways, a lot of the information that I found about the runways, navigational aids and lighting have been found in that AIP document, and so I'll try to transpose it as best as possible. However, to begin with, Zagora operates a single runway 2911 measuring 9,859 feet or 3,005 meters, and it's made from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 2,415 feet or 736 meters and is located in the GMT UTC time zone. Now Zagora, or Morocco, generally does indeed observe daylight saving time or DST, and so currently the airport is on the same time zone as that of the UK. So runway 2911, both ends of this runway have runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system and precision approach path indicators. Now the visual approach chart that I see doesn't really show which side of the runway the PAPIs are on, although here you can see we've got PAPIs on the left side, so I'm going to assume that that's correct. Now runway 29, which is what we're looking at now, here you can see the runway end identifier lighting system. There is no centerline lighting, so that's correct as per the charts. Here's the runway lighting, and also you have the approach lights, which in real world are adjustable. So as I said, no sort of real published approach procedures except a visual approach chart, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go and have a look at the other end, runway 11. So here we are looking at the other end of the runway, runway 11. Here you can see a PAPIs on the left, which it does have the high intensity, the sort of runway lighting system here that's around here, and again you've got runway and identifier lighting. Now according to the AIP, it doesn't mention any approach lights. However, they're here, and as I've said many times, I'm not going to complain about anything that exists in the scenery that's not in the charts. Anything that helps you land here is to be sort of good, as it were. Now at the moment this is 7 o'clock in the morning, so at the moment you wouldn't be flying in or out of here because the airport hours operate from 8:30 to 4:30. But I've lowered the lighting so you can get a look at just how this looks and also see the lighting better. Both ends of the runway have this turning area, so you taxi onto the runway and backtrack and turn, and that's fine. So as I said, operational hours 8:30 to 4:30 local time, and prior permission is required outside of these hours. And from what I can glean from the AIP document, this runway lighting and everything is as per the charts. So FSDG have done really well to get it correct, and to be honest it looks really nice. And they've surrounded the airport with the fence line as well, which is brilliant. So that's runways for you, as much as I can tell you about it. There are no jetways at this airport, so let's get down to having a look at this scenery and just see what's in it for us. Okay, so we'll start with the daytime tour. What I've done is I've set the time now to about 4:10 in the afternoon, so the last minute flights will be getting ready to taxi off onto the runway and leave the airport. So let's just have a little tour and have a look. You've got various buildings. There's the fence line which goes right the way around the airport perimeter. I have to say, you've done an amazing job with that. Here you've got various buildings and lights. And you know, the ground texture looks brilliant, it really does. So here we're coming up on the main ramp. I've got the Phoenix Airbus A319 sitting there. As you can see, GSX actually has put some equipment there, even though it doesn't actually know what the data is. And you've got this hangar here, which is quite important. And as we lift up high, there in the distance you can see a huge amount of solar panel lighting. And again, various little bits and pieces such as this dotted around nearby. So as we pass over landside here, you can see there's the control tower and the main terminal building, and you've got the car park and the road that leads into the airport itself. All of it looks really nice and crisp, beautifully done. You've got this little facility out here, not sure what it is. But again, it's on the airport and it's been recreated. And finally you've got this little building here, which I suspect might be the fire station, because you've got the little control off thing at the top there. Yes, there it is, there are the fire engines. So let's take a few close-up shots of the main ramp here and terminal, and again beautifully done. Here you've got blue airfield edge lights, which will help you during the darkness hours in the winter, where 4:30 in the afternoon really is kind of dark. We might actually take a look at that in a minute. At the moment, this is August 2024, coming towards the end of the month, so summertime, 4:30 in the afternoon, still pretty bright. But here you can see the ramp, again brilliant ramp texture. You've got your parking lines, and as you can see the aircraft would come in and do a turn and park up there. The beautiful building here, really nicely modelled and constructed, does reflect the real thing. Managed to see a few pictures on here on the internet, and you've got the control tower there. And a little view of this side of the building. You've got various little bits of equipment sitting here, and you can see the texturing is really good here. It looks pretty real, including the wall. I mean, the design, this airport is a very nice little place. And here it says entrance, so I should imagine this is for arrivals. So in fact you've got a baggage cart to the left there. And the airport sign itself in French, which I think is the default language in this country. And here's the departures end of the building, I think. I'm not sure if this is parallaxing. We'll have a look inside in a minute. But look, you've even got the security cameras, which I think is brilliant. Again, you've got more baggage trucks, and you've got the airport sign in Arabic. So you've got the control tower facility from the outside. And again, this looks really nice here. Let's have a look at the tower close up. So here's a view of the tower inside looking out. You've got partial modelling here, no controllers and no equipment, but really not a problem, to be honest. And there's just a view looking into the tower from outside, and you've got this sort of debris on the glass, which also adds to the realism. It looks really good. And here you've got this hangar building here out to the other side here. And there's a look across the ramp in the other direction. So here's just one of the doorways airside. We're right up close, and here this looks like parallaxing, and it's actually quite good quality. It's been done at a high resolution, and so it looks pretty realistic. Here's a quick look inside the building. As you can see, the inside has not been developed at all as a terminal. It's just been done externally, which is fine, and to be honest, the price actually reflects this level of commitment to developing the scenery. In fact, the price is really good, even though the inside hasn't been developed. So here again, a view landside looking at this building. Some great signage there, all done properly. Again, these windows, all of the glass areas have got parallaxing done to a high resolution, so it looks pretty good. There's a control tower viewed from landside, and there's a general view looking landside as well. So let's actually do a little tour close up of landside, see what it looks like. So there you've got the wall there, got a fence line, a set of gates, which basically stops access to airside. Here you've got landside. I mean, it looks fairly barren, but it's nicely done. Again, you've got the same high resolution window work done there, and you've got this beautiful sort of modelling. Here you've got the rest of the car park, again all nicely done in 3D. And here, as we come across the car park, got all the cars pretty much in their own slots. You've got animated flags there as well, which is very nice. It all looks really good. Cars are all in their slots, nothing out of position. It's lovely, it's very crisp, it's very nice. So here you've got the entrance to the airport, or one of them at least. Again, you've got the required razor wire here as well. Nice to see that. It's very nice, very nicely done. And just a high level shot there, sort of looking towards the northeast. You've got runway 11 threshold out here, and here you've got the roads going into the central area. Okay, the roads haven't been 3D'd here going into the airport. It's just the airport itself, the general area, that has been modelled in 3D. As you can see, beautiful mountains in the distance. This is a lovely location. Whatever you might think of the simplicity of this, it's great, and it's certainly going to be on my list to fly into. And just a quick high level shot out there to the west. You look at the mountain range and the desert and the various little facilities scattered around there. This is an awesome place, really is. Very quick look at some of the taxiway signage here during the daylight. As you can see, no centerline lighting, but the markings are all good during the day, and you've got the edge lights which will help when it does get dark in the winter. This is Taxiway Alpha. There you can see the runway signs. Just an apron sign, again set into the ground properly, not just sitting there in the grass. Very nicely done. And another sign there, again just sitting properly on the ground on stilts, which is probably as it should be. It looks really nice. Runway texture is very interesting too. They've used a really nice texture, actually, probably quite important to this part of the world. And the windsock there on the right hand side. And there you can see the main taxiway going into the apron area. Just a quick look at some of the signage. It looks pretty impressive. Okay, just very quickly, I wanted to show you what the airport looks like. It's now 16:30, 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon in December. It's winter. And as you can see, the airport still has light. So this is, as I say, this is the time that you would be allowed to take off or land at the end of the day. And the terrain looks really good as well. It's just so wonderful. There are the mountains in the distance. That's runway 29 threshold there. And looking out to runway 11 in the far distance. Okay, so back to August. It's August 26th, 2024, summertime. This is 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Again, this is the last time you'll probably get to take off or land here. And this is how it is. So let's drop the lighting down past this area, and let's assume that you've got a landing clearance after sunset from the airport. And we'll have a look at what the lighting looks like. Okay, just after 10 to 8 in the evening, as I said, this is August 2024 summertime. Lights came on a few minutes ago, and this is the view of the main ramp here. And yeah, it looks really pleasant, and doesn't the area look great at sunset? There's a runway 29 threshold, and you can see also lighting out there in the distance where the solar panels are. And there, looking out to the far east, and you've got the runway 11 threshold in the far distance. So let's have a couple of close-up shots of the airport, close up, see what it looks like. So here's a very low view. This is the apron sign, and again nicely lit. And yeah, that's just really nice. There's the blue airfield edge lights, all nice and clear. So a close-up shot of the ramp. Here's my Phoenix Airbus A319 sitting on the stand here. I think this is stand number 1. And there you can see a beautifully lit terminal, airport signage. It's just very nice. Very simple, but it works. It works really well. And we get up close to the terminal, and here you can see what looks like curtains, and you've got lights on inside which give this effect. It's very nice. And the same is true there. And because it's late in the evening, the airport's effectively closed, so you've got these curtains across the entrances here as well. So here's the control tower, and you've got this rotating white beacon. In the US it's white and then green, but I'm not sure whether it's the same worldwide, but here it's white and white rotating. And a quick look from inside the tower looking out. There's the threshold of runway 29 in the distance. All very nice. And there you've got the hangar down there. Again, lighting's provided by the proper source. No Asobo globes floating around here, which I can see is really quite good. And a quick shot looking airside across there from the hangar. It's nice. There's really no complaints at all. It's lovely. So as we pass landside, You've got this lovely effect on the windows where the curtains are closed. I really like that. Signage looks good, and the flags flapping away there. Okay, the car park's a bit sparse, but I'm not complaining really. But again, all the lighting is correct, nothing spuriously floating around here. Very nice indeed. And here's the airport entrance, which it has its own lighting. The only problem here is I can't see the source of the lighting. Doesn't appear to be a lamp giving this illumination. And there's a view looking towards the airport from the main gate. Yeah, that's great. Really no complaints at all. It's lovely. It's very, very nice. And here you can see Taxiway Alpha that goes in and out of the runway. The signs are all lit and you've got the blue airfield red lights. No complaints. It looks great. It really does. Okay, so let's lower the lighting to night time now. Now, although you wouldn't fly in and out of here at night, especially since you have no instrument approach charts, no RNAV, no instrument landing system, it would be Mark 1 eyeball with anything. But assuming that you would and you got prior permission, let's have a look at what the airport looks like in the darkness. So 10 PM local time, and doesn't that look really nice? The lighting has come up. Everything that you need to be able to see is lit. Bear in mind you'd probably have engineers working on an aircraft during the night, or various parts of the airport, especially if the aircraft has been grounded or delayed and can't leave due to the operating hours problem. But yeah, very, very nice. There you can see the threshold of runway 29, and also you can see down there you've got the taxiway lighting that's actually reflecting in the grass, which is brilliant. And there in the distance, runway 11 and that other building out there. So here's Taxiway Alpha. As you can see, no centerline lighting, so if you do come at this time you'll be relying on your nose gear. But the signs are nicely lit and glowing into the ground, which is very nice. And there's a nice shot showing you the airport. We're close up to the apron sign, which also is glowing into the grass. It's very effective. This is a very nice little scenery. It's actually one of the nicest I've seen of a small airport structure for a while. So one or two close-up shots. Well, it does look nice, doesn't it? It's very pleasant. And just a quick view from the passenger window. Obviously you can't really see the flight deck because it's facing the wrong way. You wouldn't get the sort of the view of the terminal as such. So I thought I'd give you a quick look out of this direction here. And there's another view over the passenger wing. A couple of quick shots landside. You have this, I mean, I really do like this. How they've managed to do it, I don't know. Here you've got all the curtains closed, because obviously the airport would be closed. And you've got lighting inside because there are things going on. And this is very, very effective. It's very nice. The airport signage is as it should be. No complaints there. And there's a view looking out over the car park. Again, just as it should be. And finally a close-up look at the entrance. Again, the doors are covered because it's closed, and it's yeah, airport is closed at this time. But I do like, you've got little cameras as well, the security cameras. Brilliant. Very, very nice. So that was the airport at night. Let's bring the dawn up and have a look, and if I'm in the right position, the sun should come up behind me. Okay, 7:05 in the morning local time, and here you can see the beautiful glow on the buildings with the sun coming up behind us. The lights went out probably 2 or 3 minutes ago, but it all looks very nice. There, looking towards the east, you've got this structure here that we looked at before. There's runway 11 threshold and the fire building there. And looking east, here's the runway 29 threshold. And you've got the solar panels here out there, sun coming up over the mountains. Really nice. Okay, 8:30 in the morning, which is the time you would be permitted to take off or land here, and time to wrap up the review and give you my thoughts. 2 questions I often get: do I like the scenery and is it worth the price? Well, yes, I do like the scenery. It's an unusual airport sitting right on the edge of the Sahara Desert, beautifully modelled. Okay, it's fairly simplified. There's a lot of it that I would like to see that isn't there, and we'll talk about that in a moment. FSDG have done a wonderful job on the airport terminal and its environment, and the surrounding terrain matches beautifully. This is a great place to fly in over. And considering it's a visual approach, you could only fly literally straight into the NDB, and there is an NDB on the airport. Overfly it, select your runway for landing, and see some of the stunning views. Could make for a great video, which is something I might try out. But yeah, beautiful modelling throughout. I especially like the high resolution parallaxing that becomes curtains during the darkness hours, which is wonderful. It's really nice. Price just over €12, just under $14. I mean, it's great. It's exactly the right sort of price for the airport that you've got here. No question about that at all, and it's lovely. It's very, very nice. Highly recommended. What would I like to see in version 2? An FSDG version 2 would be stunning if you add to this. I'd like to see the internal of the terminal development. The tower could be done as well, a little bit better. With controllers as well. Be nice to see some airline staff or bits and pieces on the ramp, which to be honest you would get when GSX works, and as I said, FSDG are working on that, so that would be useful. Couple of people, maybe families, and taxis landside again, just to bring the airport to life a bit more. We've already got the animated flags, which looks great, and considering it's Morocco, maybe having an armed guard down by the gate here, the entrance gate, and developing these roads here, make them 3D, just to complete the airport. But as I said, there you go, not much else to add, but a few things that really would just bring this to life a little bit more. But it's a lovely airport, thoroughly recommended, really, really is lovely. But just to let you know, I bought this airport. I wasn't given it by FSDG. It was purchased because I'm going to fly in here, and I thought it was quite unusual, and it was a challenge to find information about this and give you the data that I've given you. So hopefully that will help you. So there you are, folks. This is Zagora International Airport in Morocco. Golf Mike Alpha Zulu, a payware scenery by the Flight Sim Development Group, version 1, the release version. Download is 1.73 gig and it stalls at 1.89 gig, and you can get it from SimMarket or the FSDG online store. Prices are pretty similar including tax. I'll give you the SimMarket price, €12.08, which equates to roughly $13.50 US or £10.23 UK. As ever, US and UK prices are estimates taken from the euro, and they do include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on your country of purchase. The airport is served regularly by Royal Air Maroc Express. Be nice to try and get an A319 or a 737 in here, or for you ATR flyers, a nice little trip from Marrakesh to get down here. So guys, thank you for joining me, thank you for watching and looking at this really unusual little airport. As I said, getting details about the airport was quite difficult, but I did find a couple of documents, and I will put links to those documents in the description so you can see them too. So thank you for joining me, thanks for watching. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up this review. Stay tuned because we're going to look at Kish Island Airport in Iran. Will be the next review coming up. It's a nice payware scenery by a little group of people called Fun of Flying, who seem to specialise in Iran. Kish Island is a popular place. It's a popular resort for tourists that go into the country. In fact, you can get a 14-day visa-free access to visit there. So we're going to look at that. I've also been sent SAMUI by a new developer. And there are one or two little issues with that, and I'm working with them to try and improve that. But that's another really nice airport. I may get that out this week, or it may have to wait until next week. But anyway, stay tuned for Kish coming later in the week, and I'm going to try and maybe do a nice video as well, where we're going to fly in somewhere interesting. So take care, folks. Have a good week. My name's Lee. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.